Hey Pokemon Champions, what's going on? It's Champion DarkBlaze here. Welcome to the Season 4 premiere, and the Diamond and Pearl Remakes are by far the most highly requested Pokemon games to this date, being requested as far back as when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were being released in playthrough for the first time. Now, I believe they are on the horizon and will come out in November of 2021, the traditional release date for Pokemon games. But even though these games are on the horizon, we need to talk about what Sword and Shield could mean for the Diamond and Pearl Remakes. In Sword and Shield, we were introduced to Dynamaxing and the new form, Gigantamaxing. Gigantamaxing is essentially a mix between Mega Evolution, where we get a new form to these Pokemon, and Z moves, where we get G-Max moves as these kind of OHKO moves that are supposed to knock out your opponent. In the Diamond and Pearl remakes, when they come to the Switch probably next year, I am willing to bet we are going to get plenty of brand new Gigantamax forms for older Pokemon, specifically older Sinnoh Pokemon. Currently we have about 26 Pokemon in Sword and Shield that can Gigantamax, and I believe that number is only going to increase when the Diamond and Pearl remakes come out. So today I want to bring to you the top 10 Gigantamax Pokemon I believe we'll see in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. And without further ado, in no particular order, here are the top 10 Pokemon that could Gigantamax in Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Alright, I choose you!
Starting our list off at number 10, we have one of the most beloved regional birds, that being STARAPTOR. Of course, STARAPTOR is a Pokemon that back in the days of Gen 6, everybody wanted this Pokemon to get a Mega Evolution. Well, with Diamond and Pearl remakes on the horizon, I believe this Pokemon can be redeemed with a Gigantamax form, and I believe this is a perfect candidate to do so, and there's no way Game Freak could pass up this opportunity to give STARAPTOR a new form twice. Now, while I was unable to find an actual Gigantamax fan art version of STARAPTOR, I did find some Mega Evolution forms of STARAPTOR, and I believe that these Mega forms of STARAPTOR are just what we need in its Gigantamax form. It does not need to be the exact same, but I think if we highlight the red tone of its feathers on top of its head and make that more noticeable in its design, along with increasing the size of it, obviously, and making its white and gray patterns in its design more prevalent, I think a Gigantamax STARAPTOR could be a phenomenal design in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. This is pretty much a staple Pokemon in most Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum playthroughs, and I think if it has a Gigantamax form, it's going to see a lot more use, and it could even be in the competitive scene. Next up, we're going to be talking about another staple of any Diamond and Pearl Platinum playthrough, and that's going to be LUXRAY. You get this Pokemon very early, Route 201, 202, and 203, and it can be easily added to your team early on in the journey, and this fan favorite Pokemon also was not given a Mega Evolution, and not even given the Dark type upon evolving into LUXRAY. The fan base highly wanted a Mega Evolution. It's been in tons of videos about potential new Mega Evolutions back in the day, and I think Game Freak has a golden opportunity to turn LUXRAY into a Gigantamax LUXRAY. It would be an amazing opportunity to give new life to this already amazing Pokemon, and it could even see more use in competitive if it does not already. If Game Freak wanted to, there is a potential possibility that upon Gigantamaxing, it could gain the Dark typing. I don't see that as a possibility, but you never know with Game Freak. And this design by Godbird art on DeviantArt is an incredible design for a Gigantamax LUXRAY. I think it's just phenomenal, making the hair more prevalent and looking like a ferocious mane, giving more devilish features to LUXRAY. I think its ferocious nature is just fantastic, and this would be an amazing Gigantamax LUXRAY. Another fan favorite, we have the pseudo-legendary of the Sinnoh region, that being the Dragon Ground type GARCHOMP. Now, this Pokemon did receive a Mega Evolution back in the days of X and Y and ORAS. Its Mega Evolution, I would say, definitely is not the best among the fanbase, but nonetheless is still really cool. However, this Gigantamax form by Trainer Mats over on Instagram would be an amazing portrayal of what Gigantamax GARCHOMP could be in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and GARCHOMP is also one of the Pokemon that is confirmed to be added to the Galar Pokedex when we get the DLC for Sword and Shield coming this year. So I just believe Gigantamax GARCHOMP is even more of a possibility since it's already being added into the Galar Pokedex, giving this nice edgy design to GARCHOMP that it already has, and just exemplifying that along with the fins and the shark features that it has would make an awesome design for Gigantamax Garchomp. Now, taking a break from fan favorites for a bit, we're going to be talking about the Beehive Pokemon VESPIQUEN. VESPIQUEN has always been a pretty good Pokemon, but I've never used one in a playthrough. If this Pokemon did get a Gigantamax form, like designed by MOTHIM on DeviantArt, then I think I might be inclined to use VESPIQUEN in a new Diamond and Pearl Remake playthrough. VESPIQUEN has never been a bad Pokemon, but I think this design truly exemplifies everything that is great about VESPIQUEN's design. Sure, we've had bee Pokemon before, such as BIBAREL, but VESPIQUEN I think it does it better, really showcasing the beehive aspect of bee Pokemon. I like this design because you can see all the comb bees swarming around the beehive, and the stinger is actually shown on VESPIQUEN. VESPIQUEN becomes more edgy, more tough looking, and I think that's really what VESPIQUEN's design needs a little bit. Sure, it's known as Queen Bee, as only female comb bee can evolve into VESPIQUEN, but I think this design would show how strong a queen can be as well, and this would make VESPIQUEN a big candidate to be used in a lot of playthroughs, in my opinion. This Gigantamax VESPIQUEN surely needs to happen. Now, another Pokemon that's not really a fan favorite would be the ground-type HIPPOWDON. This Pokemon is specifically used in the Elite Four by Bertha. Now, this is another specific reason that I believe HIPPOWDON would get a Gigantamax form in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. In X and Y, as well as in the ORAS games, Elite Four members were given Mega Evolutions, or at least the champions were. So I would not doubt if the Elite Four members, or at least Cynthia, would be given a Gigantamax form in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Cynthia has a Garchomp, which is even more of a better reason for why Garchomp could get a Gigantamax form. VESPIQUEN could be given a Gigantamax form and be used by Aaron of the Elite Four in Sinnoh as well, seeing as how he's a bug-type specialist. Well, Bertha also has HIPPOWDON, and this Gigantamax HIPPOWDON, made by Lahintasi21 over on DeviantArt, is an amazing representation of what Gigantamax HIPPOWDON could be. I like the Oasis design and Oasis feature that rests upon HIPPOWDON's back. I like the desert vibes that I get from it, and it really just showcases HIPPOWDON as the amazing ground type it really is. I've never been big on HIPPOWDON in the past, but seeing this Gigantamax fan art is making me like it a lot more, and I think this needs to happen when we get to the Elite Four and see Bertha's HIPPOWDON in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Back to popular Pokemon for a minute, we have Gigantamax Lucario. Now, I could not find the names of the artists of these two Gigantamax Lucario portrayals, but nonetheless, these are fantastic designs, and if you see this video, then good job on making a fantastic Gigantamax Lucario design. Lucario is a fan favorite as well as being honored in Pokemon of the Year, and seeing how it already got a Mega Evolution and it's going to come back in the Pokemon anime this year, and Ash also might get his own Riolu, I believe there is no doubt that Lucario is a big candidate to get a Gigantamax form in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Lucario is always a team player in any Diamond and Pearl or Platinum playthrough, as you do receive an egg from Riley on Iron Island which contains a Riolu. Therefore, many players probably ended up using Lucario on their journey. So seeing as how this is a fan favorite with a great design, and these two designs really highlight what Lucario is already about anyway, I think Lucario would be a great Pokemon to be given a Gigantamax form. Next on the list is actually MOTHIM. MOTHIM is by far and away not a fan favorite Pokemon, but nonetheless does not have a bad design. Again, with this one I could not find actual Gigantamax fan art for MOTHIM, but I did find Mega MOTHIM fan art, and I believe these Mega Evolutions to MOTHIM would be an amazing design to go off of if MOTHIM was given a Gigantamax form in the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes. Maybe this would entice a lot more people to use MOTHIM knowing it has a Gigantamax form. I think if we really elaborate on the designs of its wings and give it more of a moth feel, I think MOTHIM definitely has the possibility to be a Gigantamax Pokemon in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, just exemplifying its moth nature and the design in its wings. It could be the new Gigantamax Butterfree. I mean, Butterfree is a Mothra, MOTHIM could be the next Mothra. So Gigantamax MOTHIM is definitely a Pokemon I want to see in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. The penultimate Pokemon on this list is Spiritomb. Spiritomb is far and away one of the most popular Pokemon in the Diamond and Pearl Pokedex. Now, of course, getting Spiritomb in the original Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum is a lot of work and it's tedious, and I don't understand why Game Freak would ever make anyone go through that work of getting a Pokemon. Yes, I know the Regi puzzles are a thing, but Spiritomb is not a legendary. It's just you have to do multiplayer with this, which makes it more annoying than getting the Regis. But nonetheless, I believe people would be more willing to go through the work of getting a Spiritomb if they see it has a Gigantamax form, and this version of Spiritomb is just insanely good. This design by Trainer Louie over on Instagram is a fantastic portrayal of the devilish and fiendish nature that Spiritomb has. Being composed of 100 108 different spirits, Spiritomb gets all of that even pushed further into your face when it is turned into this Gigantamax form. It's given these ghostly, devilish hands, and it looks even more menacing in this form. But then there's also this Gigantamax version of Spiritomb where it actually assembles into a big gate. This incorporates the keystone that is needed in order to revive Spiritomb. And by having that turn into a gate, I think that really exemplifies the ghost nature that Spiritomb has. Usually ghosts are associated with cemeteries. And what's at a cemetery? A gate. And usually the gate of a cemetery is always portrayed as creepy, eerie, and ominous in any horror movie, so I think this would be another great representation of a Gigantamax Spiritomb. And again, this one also gives Spiritomb those devilish hands, that devilish face, and the menacing portrayal of its keystone from which it emerges. So therefore, I think between all three of these designs and Spiritomb already being a great Pokemon by itself, as well as Cynthia using a Spiritomb against you, Spiritomb is a high candidate to be given a Gigantamax form in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Remakes. This is actually the penultimate Pokemon. Next is BIBAREL. Now you're probably wondering, why give BIBAREL a Gigantamax form? What's so special about BIBAREL? Well, I have one specific reason as to why I want to give BIBAREL a Gigantamax form. As many of you probably are, and I am as well, we are probably all big fans of Birdkeeper Toby. Now, a while back on his channel, he did a playthrough of Pokemon Platinum, and he used a BIBAREL known as Miyamoto. This became known as Miyamoto the Monster BIBAREL. And when I was getting into his channel and becoming a fan and getting glued to all of his videos, he would keep talking over and over about Miyamoto the Monster BIBAREL, and I just thought, wow, the strength his BIBAREL must have possessed, how great it would have been to watch that playthrough. So I just think, because of simply that, I believe BIBAREL should be given a Gigantamax form, just so Birdkeeper Toby could name it Miyamoto and go through Diamond once again with a BIBAREL and cause havoc among the Sinnoh region with BIBAREL. Now this design over here is an amazing portrayal of what Gigantamax BIBAREL could be. It's sitting atop all of the wood like beavers do, and it is just super amazing. It looks like it's a king sitting atop a throne. It could even be giving a special Gigantamax move in which it throws all of that wood down at you. This next design, of course, is a Gigantamax Bidoof, and while I'm not the biggest fan of it, I think this design could be implicated to give BIBAREL a Gigantamax form. Just imagine a BIBAREL of that size and of that nature with that aggressiveness. That would be scary to go up against and to see in any Diamond and Pearl remake. So of course, I would like to see Gigantamax BIBAREL in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Now finally on this list, of course, we cannot have Diamond and Pearl remakes without Gigantamax forms to the starters EMPOLEON, INFERNAPE, and TORTERRA. Of course, if we're going to get brand new Gigantamax forms, these Pokemon need to be given Gigantamax forms. They were not given Mega Evolutions back in the days of X and Y and Auras, as only the Kanto and Hoenn starters were given Mega Evolutions. But the Kanto starters are getting Gigantamax forms, and since we are now going back to Sinnoh and not Hoenn, these are the starters that are most likely to get brand new Gigantamax form, alongside the Kanto starters. Starting off with TORTERRA, I think these two designs are absolutely incredible. The one by Elite 4 over on Instagram truly embraces the concept of TORTERRA being a world turtle Pokemon. Now, of course, we see this exemplified in Detective Pikachu, and I think TORTERRA was absolutely implemented fantastically in that movie. This design is just truly amazing. I'm not a big fan of how bloated TORTERRA looks, as it really embraces that world turtle design, but nonetheless it is really cool. But I think this design of Gigantamax TORTERRA is even better. It really showcases TORTERRA holding the world on its back. It goes from a leaf to a bush to TORTERRA having a tree on its back, and now Gigantamax TORTERRA literally holds up a mountain. I think this design would be absolutely incredible and would make my love for TORTERRA even greater if we get this Gigantamax form. On to Gigantamax INFERNAPE. Again, by Elite 4 over on Instagram, he has INFERNAPE riding a fire cloud. That's just amazing. I get very big Dragon Ball vibes from this, and its hair flames are even more exuded on the top of its head, and it just looks insanely awesome. As we all know, INFERNAPE is based off the concept of the monkey of the West from Chinese mythology, and I just think by having this design for Gigantamax INFERNAPE, it would be absolutely incredible. And then we also have a very similar design here, where it's kind of floating in the air meditating, and I think that is also a great design. And the flame on its tail just also gives me Dragon Ball vibes, as it looks like a cloud you can ride. And then finally, we have Gigantamax EMPOLEON. This, again, by Elite 4 on Instagram, is an absolutely amazing design. I love the way its royal prowess prowess is even more exemplified in this design. It looks tough, it looks strong and bold, and I love the tidal wave that it can summon behind it. But then this Gigantamax Empoleon, which I think I like just a little bit better, is absolutely fantastic. As we all know, Empoleon is based off Napoleon, the French conqueror. And I like the royal nature, the royal and lavish vibes that I get from this Gigantamax Empoleon design. I love the crown aspect, the beard aspect, the kind of cape or royal garment it's wearing, and I love that its fins, its hands, have become even more stronger by having this trident aspect included and incorporated into the design of its fins. Tell me you would not want to see this Empoleon going into battle in a gym battle. So of course, Gigantamax versions of the Sinnoh starters are most likely to occur in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. So there we go, Pokemon Champions. Those are, in my opinion, the top 10 Pokemon that are going to get Gigantamax forms come the Diamond and Pearl remakes. But what did you think of this list? Did I miss any of your favorite Pokemon that should get a Gigantamax form? Is there any Pokemon you think shouldn't get a Gigantamax form? You're gonna have to let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below, and let me know what you think of these designs. Of course, be sure to check out the description. I will link as many of the artists as I can. Go give them some support, and these Gigantamax forms are simply incredible, especially TORTERRA, INFERNAPE, and Empoleon. But of course, we'll have to keep waiting for the Diamond and Pearl remakes until probably 2021. But I can't wait to travel through Sinnoh again. So until then, train hard, Pokemon Champions. I'll catch you guys later.